Ma'am, 8 marks.
So I got 9, ma'am.
I was so happy I scored 12.25. Hi, Bikash. From my experience, I'm going to talk about first Pressy thing. Well, it's as a law student, I believe we have this capabilities of summarizing and making bullet points of things. So Pressy and reading comprehension, paragraph reading, these all things as in our law schools we develop skill and expertise in these area over the time. About the essay thing, you see, there are two topics. There are four topics usually, among which you have to pick one. And when you're preparing, you see the important topic which are in news, which are in current affairs, and the general topic आजकल थोड़ा psychology वाली चीजें बहुत चल रही है, mental stress को curb करने के लिए work places में students कैसे क्या deal करते हैं, so these things. आफ्टर कोरोना डिजिटाइजेशन काफी बढ़ गया है, तो हाउ इट इज इम्पैक्टिंग एजुकेशन एंड ऑल, इन सब चीजों के ऊपर क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. तो यू कैन प्रिपेयर दीज टॉपिक्स, राइटिंग स्टफ ऑन दैट, पैराग्राफ राइटिंग अपने नोटबुक्स में या डिजिटली जैसे भी आप लिखना चाहो, एंड मे बी इवन रिवाइजिंग दैम एंड start writing on random topics. So in our law school, when you make your college projects, instead of plagiarizing the stuff, actually start working on them. It will develop your paragraph writing or general writing skills. So I guess this is all I can share with you. And well, I guess Ashutosh might also have some points on that.
Thank you, Mrinal. I totally agree with Mrinal what he has said. Let's focus upon the recent activity that are happening right now. Other than this, if you really want to like focus on the English descriptive part for any exam for that matter, because I've also written EC, GC, and in that also there was this particular area for for Pressy, essay, and reading comprehension. So basically, first of all, you need to focus upon grammar. Second of all, whatever is the recent happenings. For example, in SEBI Descriptive for this time, it was the question which were asked was on G20 mental health. So it was one what recent happenings are going on. So focus upon these. Thirdly, I would suggest anyone to start reading editorials, because I believe they have personally worked in my favor, because as I was reading continuously any editorial for that matter, you don't need to focus upon I need to read the Hindu or Indian Express. Any editorial, like there are plenty available on the internet, even for free now. So you can like focus upon that. You need to start typing a lot, because you have a good typing speed, because a lot of my friends lagged in typing, like they did not have much like that good typing skills. So you need to be good in typing, because otherwise your time will be up. So yeah, be good in typing. The keyboard will not be very good. There might be some technical issues. So you need to be prepared for all of these situations. So first of all, start by making yourself good in grammar and knowledge in terms of like reading editorials, and be well versed with what are the recent happenings which are going on. And also focus upon reading comprehension. So this is the mistake that mostly people do, that they don't attempt reading comprehension first. So because it is more in weightage, it has a lot of it has 5 questions for that matter. So you need to like start doing that. You need to pinpoint how much time I'll give to reading comprehension, to essay, and to Pressy. So you need to divide time in. So otherwise you will like lack time in other subject areas. Like for example, you'll not get much time in essays or Pressy. So yeah, that is it.
And there is one more question related to the newspaper which can be preferred for preparing current affairs. So what all sources did you both use to prepare for current affairs?
So I did subscribe to a Telegram channel where I got these editorials, newspaper editorials. So I used to read like any editorial. I did not focus upon I need to read this particular newspaper's editorials, because ultimately I need some points to write everything down, because I already knew how to write. So basically, the important thing is that first you write introduction, then you write the about the topic, like what is it, and summarize it within 2 or 3 paragraphs, and then conclusion is there. So this is how we write. So I only needed some points of what this. So for example, if I'm going to write upon G20, so I need to know how many countries are there. Africa is now new added. So I need to know pointers, and then I'll be able to put those pointers into a good structure. So I did not focus upon any particular newspaper, But yeah, you need to have a good knowledge of or find out pointers which you need to write. That's it.
And what about you, Mrinal? What sources did you use for GA preparation?
मैम फॉर जनरल अवेयरनेस ऑनेस्टली see प्री क्वालिफाइंग होता है तो आई हैड इन माय माइंड कि मुझे इंग्लिश में कितने करने हैं, क्वांट में कितने करने हैं. फॉर जनरल अवेयरनेस आई टारगेटेड मेनली 10 क्वेश्चंस की 10 क्वेश्चन कर पाऊंगा बहुत होगा. So I don't have this habit of reading newspapers and all. What I did is I use Bpedia weekly, monthly, and MCQs which are available on ixamBee. And on YouTube there are several channels which prepare you for monthly current affairs, daily current affairs. So I subscribe to them. I made notes, one pointer, lines. I had 2-3 registers. It was like 80-90 pages, so 2-3 registers, A5 size, and I just read them, revise them, and I focus mainly on the last 3 months as it was guided by many people. कि 3 महीने की GK काफी हुई and all, so I did it like that.
Okay. And we have one more question. There is one candidate who is in final semester of Law School Symbiosis, Noida, and his profile is more inclined towards constitution. So first question he is asking, how can he improve his profile towards the corporate law? And second is, does he have a fair chance to get selected if the notification comes up this year towards probably the end? So what are your suggestions with respect to this?
Okay, so Ayan, I guess Ayan is it? Yeah. Ayan, see, I have my master's in constitutional law. I had my undergrad in criminal law. मतलब मेरे पास business law या corporate law को related कोई specialization नहीं है. But I had certain interest in security laws. I read upon them. Corporate law, I found insolvency, bankruptcy very interesting. So, when you want to work with, like, you have a goal in your mind, you want SEBI, you did security laws, आपको उसमें interest आने लग जाता है. And you see syllabus, अगर एग्जाम की बात करें, मेंस में हमें सिर्फ मेनली 3 एक्ट पढ़ना है और कंपनी लॉ पढ़ना है, आईबी से पढ़ना है. बहुत हर कोई सरफेसी एक्ट, रेरा, ये सब नहीं पढ़ना है. बहुत लिमिटेड सिलेबस इस एग्जाम को क्लियर करने के लिए. एंड नॉट द फेयर चांस, ऑफ कोर्स यू हैव द फेयर चांस, यू हैव टू क्लियर द एग्जाम. रीड, इंटरेस्ट आने लग जाए तो अच्छा, नहीं आने लगे तो आपको समझ में आ जाएगा कि डोंट वांट टू डू इट. सो या ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि अगर आप कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के टुवर्ड इंक्लाइंड आपके प्रोफाइल तो आप नहीं कर पाओगे. मेरी प्रोफाइल में मेरी सीवी में कोई ऐसा नहीं था उसको देख के कुछ बोले कि हाँ इस बंदे को नॉलेज होगी कॉर्पोरेट की. और मैं इंटरव्यू दिस क्वेश्चंस केम अप, but again, as I said, I read security laws, corporate laws in last year and a half, so I had idea about then how to work if some question comes up. So yeah, you can, if you want to, constitution or criminal investigation कुछ भी हो, you can do it. And maybe आशुतोष के पास में कुछ point हो इस चीज को लेके.
Should I? Okay, sure. By the way, I totally agree with Mrinal here also. He has like raised a good point. However, I just need to like add some few points. First of all, being from NLU, I realized that I have a good experience in. I had a prior experience in corporate laws. Like we are taught in college also, but after my graduation also, I've worked a little bit in corporate laws only. However, I'll just tell like to all the people who are listening that there is this phobia of about corporate laws, or corporate laws are very hard and very technical. It is not the case. Like even if you're reading IPC or Constitution for the very first time, you won't be able to understand it in the first go. You need to like have a continuous revision and everything. So in order to have a good grasp on corporate laws, first of all, do not be afraid of them. They're very easy. I believe that they are more easy than IPC and evidence because I had a tough time in IPC and Constitution, to be very honest. And for these exams, regulatory body exams, I'll suggest everyone to focus upon barracks. And believe me, they might seem technical at the first in the first glance, but you'll have a good grasp over them if you read it for 2 or 3 times or 5 or 6 times. Even like people say, Companies Act is very like huge and it's very difficult, but I'll say otherwise because it seems very huge. It is actually very huge, but uh, once you read it, it is easy to learn it for first of all. Second is do not go for any particular books, like you are going like purchasing books or commentaries on these corporate laws. It is absolutely not required. Thirdly, like the person who asked like would I be able to clear it if the notification comes in this year only. I'll say one thing. I got only 1 month time after pre of SEBI to prepare for mains. I did not get much time because I was in Bombay for my job, at that point of time. So I did not get much time. So believe me, at whatever time, if you're starting today also, I'm telling you, it is a good time to start. So yeah.
So here I also have one question, Ashutosh. I know Mrinal was subscribed to ixamBee's course, so I know the sources that he used in his preparation and have already recorded his success story. So what all sources did you use for your preparation?
So ma'am, my preparation was completely based upon bare acts. I did not use any other books for that matter, like going in the market and purchasing any book. I did not do that. I did not subscribe to any courses, but I hope they are very helpful to the people who are just starting. I did not had I did not have like much use of that because I was pretty confident that I'll be able to do that by myself, and I did actually. So it was not that of much use to me. So I was completely focused upon Bayrax. My or internet I believe is a great source of learning. Anyone who wants to put their mind to what they want and they know what they want, maybe they can get whatever they want basically.
Right. So we have two selected candidates. One who has prepared himself, used only the barracks, and Mrinal who has used the barracks and the course. So anyone who wants any questions in that area, also you guys can get opinions on that. There is one question by Urvashi. She's asking, is it mandatory to write down the current affairs? Doesn't it help that we can just read it 2 to 3 times?
Uh, so for current affairs, I'll say don't write it because for me personally, whenever I read like focus more upon current affairs, I did not get much marks. So honestly, because it is very vast, like there is no limit to it. Only what I can refer to is that just have a glance over the monthly booklet or current affair or PDF whatever is given. Like even I have referred to BPDF for that matter once, but again I was like it is pretty big and I did not get much time, so I just like I left it in between. But I'll suggest like don't put much focus upon these current affairs, but focus upon reasoning and English and maths because they are more scoring. And it is easy to clear pre, I believe, than mains. So focus upon mains rather than and just have a good idea about maths and reasoning and English, basically.
Right. So Mrinal already answered this question. I'll also welcome Harshit here. He has also cleared SEBI legal exam this year and he has taken out time to join this workshop and share his views, answer all the queries. Thank you so much, Harshit, for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. So we are actually taking up the queries from the students and anyone who can offer their opinions with respect to that we are discussing over here. So there is one student, Eklavya. He has asked that he is enrolled as an advocate in the district court, but he is not really practicing. So should he get a certificate for the 1.5 marks from some firm or practice as an advocate? Do they ask questions about it in the interview? So any one of you, if you have experience in that domain.
Okay, so I had no prior experience, so I guess I can't answer this. But I do have a question here from Ayan. I want to answer. And see, I in my CV I had only one internship from corporate law. That is with the ALG IPR law firm. So the questions do came up from that, but it's not mandatory that you have your CV full of corporate law internships.
Okay, so that was Ayan's follow-up question. Apart from that, the experience as an advocate. So anything Harshit and Ashutosh you can add on that?
I think in interview they can ask any question. Like they have asked me about internship experience. So I have told them that I have done internship in criminal law. So they haven't asked any question from my practice experience, but they just asked some, like I said, criminal law internship. So they started asking question from criminal law, and one member asks question relating to evidence law. So I think some question they may ask like what are the problem in courts, but I think interview is just around 15-20 minutes, so they can ask anything. So I think if someone has done some practical experience, so I think that is beneficial, definitely beneficial if someone has practical experience in any field like corporate law, litigation. That will definitely boost his marks, not only just 1.5 mark like that SEBI is providing extra, but even out of 13.5 mark, if you have experience, that will definitely benefit.
Okay. Harshit, just one question from my end. So, were you only in the preparation mode, or were you also working along with your preparation?
Ma'am, I graduated in 2022 from PHU. After that, I decided that for the next 2 years, I will just prepare for the competitive examination relating to law. Because I was preparing for multiple exams, like I given judiciary exams and SEBI exam and recently AA exam. So I was sure that the competition is so much, I cannot prepare for this exam while working. So I have told myself that for the next 2 years, I am just going to prepare for exams. I will not do anything. And in 2 years, if I couldn't crack any exam, then I will start practicing as an advocate in my district court and then in high court.
Okay, Harshit. So there is one question especially for Ashutosh, since he was already also working along with the preparation. First question is how the strategy for phase one, paper one. What did you opt for, and how did you manage your preparation and your job simultaneously?
Sure, ma'am. So just a clarification, I was not simultaneously managing both of them. I left my job and then, so I was in Bombay only. Then I left there and I came to Jaipur once after notification. So I believe notification came in like May or June. I don't remember exactly. But then I came,
2nd June.
yeah. So then I came and I left it. I made up my mind that I'll be not, because to be very honest, I think that it is very difficult to manage both the things. And SEBI is one of the exams which happens very quickly till interview stage. I cannot say after like about the results, because results this time came pretty late. Yeah. So, but yeah, I take out like 4 months or 5 months already that I'll be not doing anything else that other than studying. I left all my prior whatever things were going on. I told everyone that I'll be not working anymore till this 5 or 6 months, and then I thought that if I couldn't clear, then I'll join again. But yeah, I was clear in my head that these 5 or 6 months were for me. With regards to phase one, you only need 30 marks in maths, English, reasoning, GK, and I believe 40 marks in law subject. I don't remember exactly, but I may be wrong. But yeah, so I believe I didn't do much for phase one because it is 30, getting 30 marks out of 100 is pretty easy, I believe. So you just need to focus on maths and reasoning, because these are, and English also, because these are three which are very scoring, and it is not that difficult. You just need like some time, 2 or 3 weeks practice, in three of them, and then you're good to go. But I'll suggest one thing, that whoever is a working professional and can afford to like give a 2 or 3 months gap after notification, then I'll suggest go for it. It is not that difficult that you need to like sit for one whole 1 year and then prepare for it. So, but okay, this may differ for people to people.
Yes, so I'd also like to hear Harshit's and Rinal's views on this. That along with the job, can it be easy to prepare for SEBI Legal or not? So Harshit, can you start?
Yes, ma'am. I think competition is very high. Even in SEBI exam, just cut off 69 point something and topper 72, where there is a very minor difference. So, and if someone is preparing, and lots of candidates are just preparing for SEBI exam or judiciary exam, so they are very equipped, especially for phase two exam. They can score very high. So it is, I think, little bit difficult to manage job and preparation as well. But if someone is working professional, so I think he can target at least 1 year, 2 years. If he has 1 or 2 years in hands, so I think he can prepare. Like as someone was asking regarding phase one, so I would say like phase one is just qualifying. So if someone is starting early, it is very advantage to him. Like phase one, paper one, the reasoning, maths, and English subjects are asked, and they are just qualifying. So people can just on weekend they can prepare one topics of reasoning and one topics of math. They can just prepare. So by this way, when the notification will come, they have at least prepared some reasoning, maths question. And after notification, they can just practice. There will not be burden to complete the syllabus. They will at least, if they are devoted some 1 year, so I think they will finish the syllabus of phase one very easily. So I think I would say start early if you are a working professional. Don't wait for notification.
Okay, and what are your views on this, Mrinal?
Ma'am, I believe that we maximum need 4 months max to complete the whole syllabus, including pre-law and the English descriptive part. But see, I don't believe in working too much. I mean, I like to do things smartly. So if you are working and you want to prepare for this, you have to give so much of time to your work, to your this preparation. Mental stress, mental health will be addressed. So, I mean, I don't know. People वैसे ही काफी stress रहता है आजकल चीजों को लेके. So I'm not gonna suggest कि आप ऐसा करो. So just Ashutosh, what Ashutosh did is great. He took his time off, left whatever is what he was doing, gave the time to SEBI, and cleared it. So maybe this should be the way. And we have also seen that people who are working their jobs have cleared this also. So yeah, nothing is impossible, but the efforts, the time has to be given.
Right.
Also,
Yes, Mrinal, continue.
A question from Urvashi here. She's saying last year she gave her first attempt and didn't prepare for once. And she's asking, is that a good choice or does she need to start attempting question from maths? The first thing, quants in CB pre is वेरी इजी. ऐसा हमें लगता है कि वो मैथ्स है और वो बहुत टफ होगी, लेकिन वो बहुत आसान होती है. आप PYQs उठा के देखो, देयर आर 3-4 टॉपिक्स, DI, क्वाड्रेटिक्स, नंबर सीरीज, 8-9 क्वेश्चंस आर ऑलवेज फ्रॉम देयर एंड दे आर इजी. टाइम कंज्यूमिंग भी नहीं होता है, तो यू कैन डू इट. ऐसा आपको छोड़ के आने की जरूरत नहीं है, आप आराम से 5-6 क्वेश्चंस कर सकते हो. सो दैट्स माय टेक ऑन दिस.
Okay.
I would like to add something here.
Yes, Ashutosh.
As Mrinal said, I believe that even though there is a negative marking, no one should leave anything in an exam. The reason behind it, behind this is that first of all, there are people who are actually leaving questions. Second of all, the competition is very tough in these exams. So you need to have this mindset that you need to play on probabilities. Like, what if this question becomes right? So I'll be getting 1 marks over negating like 0.25 marks. So you need to play on probability. Second of all, we are law students, and I believe that there is a phobia in law students again of maths. Believe me, anyone, everyone, like, you should focus upon maths, because in all these exams in Airport Authority of India, so I gave 3 exams and I cleared all 3 of them. Airport Authority, ECGC, and SEBI. You need to in all 3 exams there was maths and reasoning. So please focus upon maths and reasoning. You cannot just say, oh, I cannot do this, it is very difficult, it is my weak area, I need to focus upon other areas. No, you cannot afford that luxury to leave something and have other things. You cannot do that, because there are people who know maths better than you. So if you are weak at maths, this is a good time to start preparing for maths. Go watch YouTube videos, go start preparing, because nothing is impossible. You need to just have a good idea of some basic concepts and just like work upon those. You cannot leave anything. Even in mains, the objective paper, which was 70, I got 65 because I didn't leave anything. Because the moment you leave anything, you are giving leeway to other people who can actually score more. So I'll say don't leave and focus upon maths.
Okay, so that was great. There was one question we skipped. It was by Aditya. So he asked about the notification. So we are not going to talk about the next notification because no one can give you a confirmed date. It's all speculation. The current recruitment cycle just got over. So we are not going to talk about the upcoming notification, when it will be. It can be towards 24 end. Hopefully it is around 2024 end, or it can go to the first quarter of 2025. So we cannot give that for sure. We are speculating somewhere in the second half of 2024. Aditya also asked one more question: how to go about MCQs practice in phase 2? So how did you guys all practice for the MCQs in phase 2?
Ma'am, as SEBI syllabus has changed, only criminal law is in phase 2. So I would say that, like, as I was a judiciary aspirant, so I have command over traditional subject like criminal law, civil law. So for MCQs, bare reading is very important. After bare reading, we can practice MCQ from any book. Like, I prepared MCQs from a book of Pariksha Manthan. I bought that book, and for that subject I prepared. And for corporate law, security law, I would say that this exam is conducted by IBPS. So IBPS has a tendency to ask just copy questions and paste, like fill in the blank question true and false. So for securities laws and MCQs, I would say bare act reading one line by line reading is very important. Like मैम I have cleared double AI exam. So उसमें मैम क्या था कि उसके कोई MCQs नहीं थे, तो मैंने इसी तरह प्रिपेयर किया था। जैसे कोई टाइमलाइन दी है तो उसको आप हाईलाइट कर सकते हैं, उसका अपने आप क्वेश्चन फ्रेम कर सकते हैं कि इसका क्या होगा। जैसे कोई अथॉरिटीज दी गई हैं 2 या 3, उनमें से आप कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट हो सकती है, तो उसमें आप अपने आप से क्वेश्चन क्रिएट कर सकते हैं कि इसका आंसर ये होना चाहिए। मतलब दैट मीन्स वेयर टाइमलाइन इज गिवन, वेयर सम अथॉरिटी इज गिवन, सम पेनाल्टी इज गिवन, I think that becomes automatically important for the exam. And IBPS just ask fill in the blanks. They will just leave एक जो मेन आंसर उसको सब्स्टिट्यूट कर देंगे, उसकी जगह ऑप्शन दे देंगे, एंड दैट बिकम वेरी कंफ्यूजिंग। सो आई थिंक बेयर एड के साथ ही साथ प्रैक्टिस करते चाहिए, स्पेशली कॉर्पोरेट लॉ एंड सिक्योरिटीज लॉ, क्योंकि इसके एमसीक्यूज के लिए कोई स्पेशल मैंने कोई बुक रिफर नहीं की थी। थैंक यू।
And what about Mrinal and Ashutosh, you both?
So yeah, legal part basically, as we all say, Bear Act are the gun norms. हमको Bear Acts अच्छे से पढ़ने चाहिए, of course, and making notes. Also make notes, but from Bear Act itself. Don't go for reference books, articles over internet, unless you want to read about concept or understand there. You can go there, but not for other thing. Don't focus on reference books purely. Focus on Bear Acts. Also, when we talk about MCQs, there, of course, this is the prima facie point that the answer is in front of you. You have to pick the right one, and it can only happen if you read the Bear Act and you remember the words, the lines, and the phrases. Also, the questions, the people, the institutions, they have in their mocks, in their, let's say, MCQ booklets and all, read upon them. If you see like pick SEBI Act 1992, and if you solve 800 questions, 800 MCQs of SEBI Act 1992, it means you have seen all the things, and exam में उससे ज़्यादा क्या आ जाएगा? So this is how it worked for me.
Okay, so Mrinal is referring to the MCQ booklets of ixamBee, I suppose. Okay. So Ashutosh, what source? How did you practice for phase 2?
So I'll start by saying that don't leave anything in Bear Acts also. So what people used to do is that during preparation they used to leave, like, how can SEBI ask about section numbers, what section number is that, and so this was a big blunder that people can do. Don't leave anything from the Bear Act, even if you think, oh, how can they ask the amendment date, or how can they ask what amendment number is this. So don't think that examiner can ask anything. And as Harshit said, it is an exam prepared by IBPS, and IBPS is known for these kind of MCQs. So one of my friend, when I was preparing, he told me he used to leave these section numbers and small details. He told me that how can they ask, but I bought someone's like a coaching mock MCQs just to prepare for MCQs, and through this I realized that you need to like have a good grasp over section numbers and amendment numbers, amendment dates, and anything for that matter. Do not leave anything. So this concept worked like pretty handy for me. I did good in MCQs. Second of all, one more important thing, that with regards to securities law, they may be a bit technical. For example, takeover code, I think we all three can relate how technical it was. But if you give it like 2 or 3 readings or 4 or 5 readings, you are good to go. You don't need to know the subject for MCQ purpose. They will ask you a simple question. You just need to pinpoint what will be a good option for that. That's it. So I'll suggest don't leave anything. Prepare for section numbers and everything, and do like give more and more MCQs, more and more mocks, and I believe you're good to go. And again, one more thing. Like before my exam, I had a good reading of all the subjects that were coming in phase 2 around 5 to 6 times, and there were subjects which I read like 10 times. Bear Acts, I'm talking about Bear Acts. So just keep on multiple reading. Like have a good multiple reading over all the subjects. That's it.
Okay, so I think Ashutosh also addressed the second question which Krishnendu asked, that how to prepare specifically for securities law and what amount of time is needed to prepare for securities law. So for this question, let's hear from Harshit and Mrinal as well.
Okay, Harshit, first. I'll take it later.
Ma'am, I would say that I have devoted around 1 year for SEBI preparation, and I have covered corporate laws and SEBI's three main acts before the notification. So I was around 2 hours daily for companies law and 2 hours for security law. I used to devote. And when until February, it was expected that SEBI notification will come, but it was not. So till February, I have completed these laws. So and when notification didn't come, I haven't prepared. But when notification again came in June, then I prepared. I means acts and corporate laws was मेरा prepared था उसमें. केवल regulations पढ़ने थे. So मुझे मैं कह रहा हूँ अगर आप long term के prepare कर रहे हैं एक साल के लिए तो I think 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours is sufficient for practice, for revision, and for first reading of these corporate and security laws.
I think I'll also address one disclaimer over here for all the students who've just joined. Harshit was judiciary aspirant earlier. So that is why he had to give special time to the corporate and securities law on a daily basis. And also the regulations were introduced this year only. So that is why those could not be prepared beforehand. It was not in the syllabus of previous notification. And yes, let's hear from Mrinal as well for securities law.
Okay, so as ma'am said, regulation was introduced first time in this exam last year. What I'm going to say is for security law, see SEBI Act and SCRA, they are both almost on similar lines. Okay, if you read SCRA first, you will see that many things, many provisions in SEBI Act is also covered. Depository Act is not that tough. It's the easy part. So I'm going to say in a month and a half, 3-4 hours daily. I'm only talking about security laws. Okay, you can do it in a month and a half. We have 3-4 hours and make notes, read section number, and also, as Ashutosh said correctly, I don't know how to emphasize more on it, but guys, start remembering section numbers. Because this time we had surprise. They usually not ask section number, but this time they did. So I also focus on section numbers also from now on. About the regulations, we had 7 this year. Maybe next year जब भी notification आई same regulations आए, maybe ये ना आए या इसमें और भी कुछ add हो जाए, ठीक है. अगर इस बार जो आई थी उसकी बात हम करें, प्रोसीजर पार्ट जो था सेट का सेबी का, दैट वाज इजी. इनसाइडर रेगुलेशन इज नॉट दैट टफ. टेक ओवर कोड, क्लियरिंग कॉर्पोरेशन, डिपॉजिटरी पार्टिसिपेंट इनकी जो रेगुलेशन थी, दे आर टफ, दे वर टफ फॉर एवरीवन. हमारे लिए भी ये सब कुछ नया था. बट सी एज हर्षित एंड आशुतोष दे आर सेइंग कि 2-3 रीडिंग आप करते हो, चीजें याद रहने लग जाती है, कॉन्फिडेंस आने लग जाता है, एंड दैट्स ट्रू. मेकिंग नोट्स आल्सो इज वन ऑफ द पार्ट. आई बिलीव इन मेकिंग नोट. मुझे लिखना बहुत पसंद है, मुझे अच्छा लगता है नोट्स बनाना, आई डू इट. तो सबको वो पसंद आए ना आए, मोर पीपल आर मोर अबाउट reading over and over. I like writing over and over, same thing. So that's from my side about the security laws. And I'm saying it again, भाई बहनों, please section numbers पे focus करना start कर देना, क्योंकि आना start हो चुके हैं.
Okay, and let's move to the preparation of interview then. Because there were 3-4 questions on interview. I'll just read out briefly. One question was, can the interview be in English? Or no, Hindi and English combined? Can a person answer the questions in this way? Then second question was, what kind of questions were asked in the interview? And were the panelists more interested in the knowledge related to SEBI? And how to prepare for the interview? So these are the 3 questions that are there with respect to the interview. So we can start with any one of you.
So, ma'am, with regards to language, I am not very sure because my interview was totally in English. But I've heard someone giving the interview in Hindi also. So I am not very well versed with this fact. Secondly, with regards to, ma'am, can you repeat the questions again?
Yeah. Second was with respect to, is there specific focus on the securities law in the questions that are being asked, and what kind of questions were asked from you, and how to prepare for the interview part?
So, ma'am, I'll answer this by saying that do not focus upon the fact that they are only checking your personality. So even though they have checked your knowledge in mains, but also they are again also focused upon your knowledge in interview also. So it is bit technical. So we cannot leave the fact that you can just do away with the fact that you don't need to read more. So focus upon SEBI, what SEBI is, and what it is doing like nowadays, what are the recent activities that are being done by SEBI. So these are the things that we need to know, and we need to know about SEBI. It is very, very important. With regards to securities law, my friend had this incident, so he was also giving SEBI interview, and he's a judiciary candidate, and he asked the panel members to ask him questions on judiciary and not securities law. So the panel member themselves like question this fact that you are coming to SEBI, you need to know about securities and corporate laws. You cannot just do away with the fact that only whatever you know we will ask question on that. No. Thirdly, ma'am, one of the most important thing is that you need to, whatever you are saying, first of all, it has to be honest. Second of all, you need to be well prepared for it. Like, so if I'm saying that I have a working experience in online arbitration for that matter, so there are going to be questions on online arbitration. You cannot leave this fact. Even in SEBI also, they're introducing online arbitration. So there were a lot of questions for me on online arbitration. And what I've done, like with regards to IBC, so I have a prior experience in insolvency. So what I've done, and how, and then they will ask certain questions like interlinking between IBC or online arbitration with SEBI. So so they can do, because you cannot just think that they don't know about the subject area, because the people who are like sitting there, they know everything from constitution to any corporate law that you will be talking about. Even they prepare questions accordingly. So for me, like they will ask me, they will ask initially about like give me your introduction, and then after introduction, what have you done prior? Then there will be questions completely on that basis only. So yeah.
Okay, and Harshit, how was your interview? And were there questions related to securities law? And how did you?
Yes, ma'am. First, I would like to clarify on language. Ma'am, as I am a completely Hindi medium student, I have law only in English. So when PIF form, personal information form came, I preferred Hindi as a language of interview. But I have given some mocks interviews. So in Hindi interview, I have seen that one panel member was unable to understand topics what I was being understand them. In Hindi, he was very confused. He was like, समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि आप इंटर में ट्रांसलेट कर रहा हूँ, मैं ऐसे बोल रहे थे. तो उन्होंने कहा कि अगर हो सकता है आप इंग्लिश में ही इंटरव्यू दिए तो ज्यादा बेहतर रहेगा, क्योंकि सेबी में भी काम इंग्लिश में ही होता है. Most of the work in SEBI is related to drafting, and drafting is done in English language. So he advised me, if you can speak good English, so prefer English as a medium. So I have written Hindi as a medium of interview, but I have given interview in English. But one of my friends, Sab, if he's from AMU, he has given interview in Hindi. So I think he has scored a good mark. So I don't think that if someone is comfortable in any language, he can speak in Hindi as well. Okay. And ma'am, second question, someone was asking कि सिक्योरिटी लॉ से क्वेश्चंस होंगे या कॉर्पोरेट लॉ से. सो मैम मैं बोलूंगा कि वो कुछ भी पूछ सकते हैं, वो कुछ भी पूछ सकते हैं. इवन उन्होंने तो मुझसे पूछा था कि आपके पापा क्या करते हैं, आपकी सिस्टर्स क्या करती हैं, और जैसे एजुकेशनल बैकग्राउंड, जैसे मैंने साइंस पहले किया तो उसके बाद मैंने लॉ. सो आई वुड से दैट जैसे मुझसे मैम सिक्योरिटीज लॉ से कोई भी क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछा था, केवल सेबी के बारे में क्वेश्चन पूछा था. उसके अलावा जैसे मैंने अपना बैकग्राउंड बताया, क्रिमिनल लॉ में मैंने इंटर्नशिप वगैरह की थी, तो उन्होंने क्रिमिनल लॉ से कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछे और बैकग्राउंड वाले क्वेश्चन पूछे. और मुझे लगा था कि मैंने शेयर मार्केट्स के बहुत सारा रिसर्च किया था कि कैसे क्या होता है, लेकिन उससे एक क्वेश्चन भी नहीं पूछा. सो आई थिंक इंटरव्यू इज मोस्ट इंटरेस्टिंग, मोस्ट अनएक्सपेक्टेड part of this preparation. So we have to prepare for everything, I would say.
Okay.
And we have to be confident while answering the question. If we don't know, then we can simply say that, sorry sir, I am not aware. But I think be confident and be prepared for any questions.
Okay. And what about you, Mrinal? How was your interview? Whether there was stress in securities law, and about this language issue also, Hindi and English.
मैम आई डोंट नो अबाउट दिस लैंग्वेज थिंग कि वो आपको इंग्लिश के लिए फोर्स करते हैं या नहीं, हिंदी के लिए करते हैं या नहीं, या बाइलिंगुअल जा सकते हो नहीं. माय इंटरव्यू वाज इन इंग्लिश. मैंने इंग्लिश ही पिक किया था बिकॉज आई नो इन कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड वी हैव टू डील पीपल who are not writing and speaking English. So I did like that. About the interview, okay, I'm gonna take my time because मेरा इंटरव्यू बहुत ही ऐसे ग्रिलिंग टाइप हुआ था. तो see, there are 4 people and वो as Harshit said, वो आपसे कुछ भी कहीं से ही पूछ सकते हैं. You can never be prepared for interview. तो जब मेंस क्लियर हुआ, पता पड़ा कि मैं इंटरव्यू जा रहा हूँ, the first stupid thing I did, मैंने टिक ओवर कोड पढ़ना स्टार्ट करा. मैंने टिक ओवर कोड्स के नोट्स बना के एग्जाम्पल पढ़, उसको इतना डीप पढ़ लिया अननेसेसरीली. फिर मुझे बाद में थोड़ा फील हुआ, कुछ लोगों से सुना कि किसी भी चीज को बाय हार्ट करने की कोशिश नहीं करनी चाहिए इंटरव्यू के लिए. यू हैव टू कीप योर सरफेस इंटैक्ट. आपकी नॉलेज, आपको हर चीज के बारे में थोड़ा थोड़ा पता होना चाहिए. दे आर नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग कि आपको हर चीज के बारे में डीप में पता हो. क्वेश्चंस की बात करें, दे आस्क्ड मी अबाउट टॉर्च का स्ट्रिक्ट लायबिलिटी वाला क्वेश्चन, राइलेंस एंड फ्लैचर के ऊपर अच्छा खासा डिस्कशन हुआ था. दे आस्क्ड मी अबाउट मेंस रिया एंड इकोनॉमिक ऑफेंसेस. देन दे हैड क्वेश्चन की सेबी का जो लोगो इस साल हमने चेंज किया है, इसका आईपीआर वैल्यू क्या है, ये ट्रेडमार्क रजिस्ट्रेशन इसका जरूरी है या नहीं, ऐसे करके क्वेश्चंस थे. And then they asked me कि I had a gap of 3 years because after my 10+2 I prepared for pre-medical test and all. तो उस चीज़ों को लेके, एंड अब उन 4 मेंबर्स में से यूजुअली देयर विल बी पीपल जो आपके वहाँ पर रैगिंग करने के लिए बैठे हुए हैं. उसके लिए आपको मेंटली प्रिपेयर होना है. आपकी ग्रिलिंग अच्छे से होएगी. वो आपको देखेंगे इस तरह की, उनका गोल है कि आपकी एक्चुअल पर्सनैलिटी, आपको एम्बेरस करके देखना चाहते हैं कि वो आप कैसा बिहेव करोगे. उसके बाद अगर आप हंस रहे हो तो ठीक है, वरना फिर वो आपकी और ग्रिलिंग करेंगे. आप सेलेक्ट हो जाओगे लेकिन आपकी ग्रिलिंग हो सकती है. सो ये सब था. क्वेश्चंस कहीं से भी कुछ भी हो सकता है. मेरी प्रोफाइल बेस्ड भी थे, सिक्योरिटी लॉस के ऊपर बेस्ड भी थे, एंड जनरल क्वेश्चंस भी थे, मेरे कॉलेज लाइफ को लेके क्वेश्चंस भी थे. एंड आई वाज सो हैप्पी. आई स्कोर 12.25. इतनी ग्रिलिंग के बाद तो मुझे लगा कि चलो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं.
I would like to add, जैसे मृणाल ने कहा कि ड्रिलिंग करेंगे इंटरव्यू में, सो मुझसे अडानी से रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था मैम ने, और मैम ने कहा कि सेबी पे ये एलिगेशन है कि हमने कुछ नहीं किया. तो मैं उसका वही बैलेंस आंसर दे रहा था कि सेबी ने कुछ किया. सो वो बार बार ऐसा फोर्स कर रहे थे मुझे कि मैं बोलूं कि सेबी ने कुछ नहीं किया. सो बट आई हैव टू स्टिक दैट सेबी ने कुछ किया है एटलीस्ट. सो फिर बाद में उन्होंने कहा कि चलिए छोड़िए, आगे बढ़ते हैं क्वेश्चंस में. उसके बाद मैम एक चीज और मैंने देखी थी कि उन्होंने मुझसे कुछ सेक्शन पूछे थे सेबी ऐप से ही, बहुत सिंपल सेक्शन थे, लाइक इन्वेस्टिगेशन किस में है, तो मैंने बोला 11C में. तो वो मुझसे 30-40 सेकंड तक बहस करते रहे, नहीं 11C में नहीं, 11B में है. वो मैम थी इतनी, उनको नॉलेज है, उसके बावजूद मुझे ऐसा लगा जैसे मुझे ट्रैप कर रहे हैं कि मैं अपना आंसर चेंज कर दूं. नहीं नहीं मैम, शायद 11B में ही होगा. सो आई थिंक इन इंटरव्यू वी हैव टू बी कॉन्फिडेंट. इफ वी नो एनीथिंग वी हैव टू स्टिक टू इट. इफ अगर उसमें भी अगर फंस रहे हैं तो बोल दीजिए शायद मैं गलत हो सकता हूँ, बट इनिशियली आई थिंक स्टिक टू योर आंसर. दे विल ट्राई टू ट्रैप यू एंड आपको अपना आंसर चेंज कर दें, आप फंस जाए. वो ऐसे चाहेंगे कि किसी इंटरव्यू में हो सकता है, जैसे मृणाल ने कहा कि कभी कभी ड्रिलिंग हो जाती है, तो डेफिनेटली वी हैव टू प्रिपेयर फॉर दैट एज वेल.
And Ashutosh,
I'll add one thing. I'll add one thing because now as we are discussing like in the interview moments, there are like past memories coming up in my head. There are a lot of things that are coming up. So during my interview also, so basically we are there to sell ourselves. So we need to be very specific in what we can say, what we cannot say, what we have done. So we can even hide some information like because so I had a background of indirect taxation also a little bit. I've worked there, but I know I'm very poor at that. So I know if I say indirect taxation, they'll grill like me at like a lot. So I was very specific. I'll not say indirect taxation. So you need to like basically you are there to sell yourself. You need to be very specific in about what are your strengths and just speak like those strengths only. Because you got only 15-20 minutes. And even like I remember it was one of the panel members who like told me that no, like so they were very chill. I believe during my interview because I was fourth in number and it was on my interview was on the first day only. So they were pretty chill at my time and they literally so I think it was one of the lady members, I can't remember, but she told me that don't act like my child. And I was pretty shocked at that time. Why is she asking? Like, so I was literally like quiet for 30-20 seconds because I didn't know what to say. Then she told me that no, you speak very fast and my child is also like he also speaks very fast. So have a little patience and then she offered me glasses. So I was not very nervous, but this is how I generally speak. So I was shocked at this point of time. Yeah, this is it.
Okay. There was one more question. So I think every one of you have got good insights related to interview and how was the interview for all three, Mrinal, Harshit and Ashutosh. One student was asking about your interview scores. So we know about Mrinal. Can Ashutosh and Harshit also share their interview scores?
So I got 9, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, 8 marks.
Okay, so probably your phase 2 marks were really very good.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to add one thing. Like, मैम जैसे मैंने बताया कि मैं जुडिशरी प्रिपरेशन कर रहा हूँ, तो ये क्वेश्चन मैम ने भी पूछा था कि आप जुडिशरी प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं कि नहीं कर रहे हैं. सो पहले जब हम लोग कैंडिडेट डिस्कस कर रहे थे तो ये बात डिस्कस हुई थी कि जुडिशरी के बारे में नहीं बोल रहा इंटरव्यू में. बट आई डोंट नो, मेरे मुंह से पता नहीं कैसे निकल गया कि यस मैम मैंने कुछ अटेम्प्ट दिए हैं. तो उन्होंने पूछा कि अटेम्प्ट दिए आपका क्या हुआ, तो मैंने बताया और मैंने जस्टिफाई भी किया कि सेबी इज माय प्रायोरिटी. बट आई थिंक जो मैंने बोल दिया कि यस आई हैव प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर जुडिशरी एंड आई एम ए जुडिशरी एस्पिरेंट, तो आई थिंक कुछ नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट पड़ा होगा, शायद 1-2 मार्क्स कट गए होंगे. तो आई वुड से दैट डोंट से दैट यू आर ए जुडिशरी एस्पिरेंट और यूपीएससी कैंडिडेट, आरबीआई एस्पिरेंट. जस्ट से आई एम only preparing for SEBI exams, or maximum you can say that banking exams, because they are still less prestigious than SEBI. So I would say that only.
But say only those
SEBI
things
के बारे
which you
में
can back it up. Like because there will be, if there are counter questions and you cannot back it up, then there will be a huge issue. Because I'll suggest, like, keep the lying part very minimum. And even if you're not saying like
Yes.
I'm not preparing for judiciary and all, you need to specify ki what have you done like for like this 1 year, past 1 year or 2 year. So just be prepared for all these questions.
Right, okay. So I think we just skipped one question, but I think we had good discussion on the interview part. So no more questions related to interview. One student asked about CRPC, what specific chapters to be prepared for. I don't think we can go for entire CRPC discussion here. So probably we can share that in the group, that what all areas probably Harshit, Mrinal or Ashutosh focused upon. Or I can also try to share a list of important sections from CRPC. So we won't be answering that question, Ayan, here. Then there was one question, which all government exams except judiciary were you guys attempting or preparing for? So Ashutosh, I think, mentioned he also appeared for ECGC Legal and AI Law. And apart from that, were you also giving any other exams?
Just these.
So there were insurance law exams as well, NIACL, UIIC. You did not appear for them?
No.
Okay. And what about Harshit and Mrinal?
I was preparing for judiciary and mainly SEBI. Only 2 exams. तो judiciary मैंने attempt दिए थे. मैंने बिहार judiciary का prelims भी clear किया था. उसके अलावा मैम उसी दौरान AA का एग्जाम हुआ था, उसमें मुझे डीवी के लिए कॉल किया गया था, मैंने उसका रिटर्न क्लियर किया था. तो बस मैंने ज्यादा फोकस नहीं किया. वही मैं कहूँगा कि मैम ज्यादा एग्जाम पे फोकस नहीं करना है, बिकॉज कंपटीशन इज वेरी हाई. एटलीस्ट फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट फॉर सेबी और एनी एग्जाम्स एनीवन इज प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर दैट, फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट मस्ट बी बेस्ट अटेम्प्ट, आई वुड से. Like SEBI, if you are giving SEBI, then only SEBI, at least one attempt. So don't prepare for too much exam. Like when there was SEBI exam, NICL का भी उसी समय था. So I decided to leave that exam. मैंने फॉर्म भरा था, मैंने पर उसका पेपर नहीं दिया, क्योंकि अगर NICL को मैं प्रिपेयर करूंगा तो मुझे मैथ्स, रीजनिंग्स, इन सब सब्जेक्ट में भी, इंश्योरेंस लॉ पे भी फोकस करना पड़ेगा. फिर मैं SEBI को उतना टाइम नहीं दे पाऊंगा. इसलिए मैं अपना एक गवर्नमेंट एग्जाम की जो लोग ज्यादा प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं, तो स्कोप को लिमिटेड रखिए. एक मैक्सिमम 2 एग्जाम्स को प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं. ओके.
And what about you, Mrinal?
Well, in this point, I completely agree with Harshit. I prepared for SEBI because, as I said to you, ma'am, earlier, in my mind, I had this conception that if I want to be successful, I have to get in SEBI. So I wanted the experience of SEBI in my CV. I appeared for it. अगर ये काम नहीं करता तो of course I would have gone for my PhD. I've had JRF, so that was my plan. I filled no other forms. तो इस साल insurance companies, AAI and काफी सारी vacancies आई थी, but I was so adamant कि एक बार सिर्फ एक सोल ट्राई सेबी को देना है. अगर ये नहीं काम करेगा तो फिर नेक्स्ट ईयर से आई विल बी लाइक थोड़े कुछ 1-2 चीजों को और अपने डोमेन में लेके चलूंगा. बट दिस ईयर आई गिव माय कंप्लीट 100% टू सेबी.
Okay. So we have heard from quite Ashutosh, Mrinal and Harshit a lot about their journeys. Mohammed has asked about AWS and OBC certificate. I think this is documentation question, Mohammed. So we will kind of take this up in the group, in the Telegram group. Then Eklavya has a question. He directly messaged to me. Can you please share the format of your descriptive answer and how many case laws did you mention? So the format of the answer, I don't think that will be done over here because it was an online examination. They cannot entirely share their answer here, but probably they can give you some tips with respect to what all to mention in the descriptive answer. We are talking about descriptive legal. And how many case laws did you mention in your answer? So can we start one by one?
Okay, so I'll go first. The word limit is fixed in the questions. आपको कितने words लिखने थे? And about the case laws, I remember corporate whale में of course वो एक topic ऐसा है legal personality. There's a conception that you must have some cases in your mind. तो वहाँ पे I wrote 1 or 2 cases, not in depth, but the name and the crux. Evidence Act में I had 1 or 2 cases in my mind, so I wrote that. And जो What was the other questions I attempted? Okay, yeah, company law का जो quorum वाला question था उसमें कुछ case law का कुछ point नहीं था तो yeah, not there. But the word limits, I was under the word limit that was given in the question. I can't remember क्या थी पर जो थी वो मैंने उतनी लिखी थी. I didn't cross it. And well, I'm gonna say it again. Descriptive part was not that hard. I guess all of us scored 20 or about 20 in that part. And I'm not gonna say कि हमारे answers बहुत अच्छे थे. जैसे answers हमने अपने law school में लिखे हैं वैसे answers यहाँ पर लिखे थे. तो I guess it was not that hard. तो उसको लेके इतना stress नहीं लेना चाहिए. I guess descriptive part में.
As Mrinal said, I completely agree. It was not at all difficult this time. So even like I believe like all three of us prepared for securities laws regarding questions, like because we were like at this fear that what if some question might come from SEBI Act or from takeover code or all from all these regulations. But look, luckily they didn't come. But we were like pretty prepared for all of these questions. It was pretty easy. We all scored like about 20. I hope so because I did. Other than this, I'll suggest one thing. You must have some case laws in mind. So I was prepared for corporate bail. Even in for question regarding to with regards to IPC, Section 34, and CRPC. But like I have a good typing speed. So always have this thing in your mind that you should like write more, because the moment you write more, you give more chance to the examiner to read your answer and to like judge you more, and there are probably more chances of giving you good marks. Because I personally wrote more in all the three questions. So I attempted a question of IPC, of CRPC, and the third one is with regards to meeting of board and everything. So you need to focus upon how much you can write, but don't like extend your focus too much upon one question that you are giving too much time to one question and then not giving time to other questions. You need to be very well prepared in how much time you're giving to like each questions. Otherwise, you'll lack time, and you cannot afford to like leave one question. So yeah, that's it. But do not focus much upon like. So it was not difficult this time, but still I cannot say that do not focus much. Just keep a little bit focus on these.
And Harshit, about you, how was your descriptive paper? And
Yes,
how many case laws did you mention?
Yes, मैम, जैसे कि अदर कैंडिडेट्स था कि पेपर इस बार इजी था. कंपनी लॉज का भी जो क्वेश्चन था बहुत बेसिक क्वेश्चन था, कॉर्पोरेट व्हील वाला, तो ज्यादातर लोगों को पता होगा. उसके अलावा क्रिमिनल लॉ से भी इस बार 3 क्वेश्चन आ गए. तो मैंने भी एक आईपीसी वाला क्वेश्चन किया था. उसमें वो ऐसा क्वेश्चन था जिसमें केस लॉस तो मेंशन करना ही था क्योंकि उसमें कॉन्सेप्ट थोड़ा सा था, और केस लॉस तो उसमें मैंने आई थिंक 2 केस लॉस मेंशन किए थे. उसके अलावा एक एविडेंस का क्वेश्चन था, उसमें वो थोड़ा फैक्चुअल था, तो उसमें केस लॉस मेंशन नहीं भी करते तो चलता था, तो मैंने उसमें केस लॉस मेंशन नहीं किया था. उसके अलावा कंपनी लॉ में बहुत बेसिक क्वेश्चन था, तो उसमें मैंने एक जो लैंडमार्क केस है सोलेमन वर्सेस सोलेमन वाला वो मेंशन किया और एक इंडियन केस मेंशन किया. सो आई वुड से दैट केस लॉस, जैसे जुडिशरी में भी ऐसा होता है कि केस लॉस बहुत सारे मेंशन नहीं करने होते हैं. आपको जितना भी लिखना है बिल्कुल प्रिसाइज होकर लिखना है, टू द पॉइंट लिखना है. तो एटलीस्ट कोशिश होनी चाहिए कि एक तो लैंडमार्क केस अगर उस टॉपिक से जुड़ा हुआ है वो लिखना है. अगर वो लैंडमार्क केस इंडियन नहीं है तो एक इंडियन लैंडमार्क केस भी लिखना है. और अगर कोई रिसेंट में अगर हमें केस लॉस कोई पता है तो रिसेंट में भी लिखना तो एक अच्छा इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है. बट अगर हमें प्रिपेयर है तो ही लिखना है. और डिस्क्रिप्टिव ये जैसा आशुतोष ने कहा था, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. जो भी लिखें बिल्कुल, जब उनको 100% श्योरिटी होगी यही इसका आंसर हो सकता है, वही लिखें, अदरवाइज ज्यादा लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि आपने बहुत बड़ा आंसर लिखा, उसमें एरर्स हो गई तो आपके मार्क्स फिर भी कटेंगे। बट अगर आपका टू द पॉइंट एक प्रिसाइज आंसर है, छोटा आंसर है, कंप्लीटली टू करेक्ट आंसर है, तो आपको मार्क्स मिलेंगे, कोई प्रॉब्लम वाली बात नहीं।
Right. So I think we all got to understand कि एक दो case laws mention करके it will be fine in the answer. Two case laws, 2 or 3 at most, and then it will be fine to answer the descriptive legal question. There was one question, descriptive English qualifying nature का है, नहीं, descriptive English के marks आपके final merit list में भी add होते हैं, phase 2 के score में भी add होते हैं, and they have 1/3 weightage. Descriptive English के interface के बारे में we are not going to discuss that, Mohammed, because this is something which either of the three could not predict, and neither can we predict in the next exam. इस बार interface थोड़ा different आया था, बहुत ज़्यादा scrolling थी, but उसका कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता, so you will have to practice. I will suggest कि अगर आप अपने लैपटॉप पे प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो तो कोशिश करो कि आप डिस्क्रिप्टिव इंग्लिश का पेपर, मॉक टेस्ट जो भी आप अटेम्प्ट करो 50-55 मिनट्स में खत्म कर पाओ, ताकि आप वो 5-10 मिनट्स मैनेज कर पाओ. आपका कीबोर्ड खराब है, आपको इंटरफेस डिफिकल्ट आ गया, तो आप उसमें मैनेज कर पाओ. सो इन दिस वे यू कैन मैनेज दैट. बट रेस्ट आई थिंक वी हैव ऑलरेडी कंज्यूम्ड 1 hour. अगर आपके स्टिल कोई भी क्वेरीज हैं, so you can mention them in the Telegram group, and probably either I will take up queries, or if any of the selected candidates has time, they can take up the queries. But here I like to thank Mrinal, Harshit and Ashutosh for joining us, for sharing their experience, for answering all the queries. And thank you so much, all three of you, to take out your time and give time to all the other candidates as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.